Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's another Raid Shadow Legends video for you today. And before we get into it, I just wanted to remind you up here in the this way over here, in the corner over here is my QR code to download the game if you haven't yet, or there's a link down in the description. So if you do use that link, you will get Eleanor, a legendary character, right off the bat, right when you download. Very first champion that you get, and then level 15, when you hit level 15, you'll get another character, Tagore, and level 30 you'll get Ugo. So all great characters to use in the game to get you going even further. So let's get into the topic of the video today, which is we're going to be talking all about how to farm quickly, effectively, and what to do. Farm your campaign nodes, that is. So that way you can get rewards even faster. If you have a ton of energy like me, we're going to go over what kind of build you can use to farm those campaign nodes super easy, super fast. So we're going to use an ogre here by the name of... Where's he at? He's an epic. No, is he a rare? I think he's a rare. Let's see. I'm trying to find him here. Where'd he go? Where'd he go? Alright, here he is. He's an ogre. His name is Bellower. So if you end up unlocking this guy, he is going to be great for farming campaign nodes. But I'm going to go over the specifics on how you need to build him in order to make him effective. So, and one important note to cover is this character here can be used for in the early game, mid game, late game. It'll apply to anyone. So that's why I'm covering it, because it's just going to be useful information if you don't already know it, to go ahead and build up this guy a very specific way. So you can use all sorts of campaign farmers if they have good abilities, like make sure you have AoEs and a secondary ability that's also an AoE and a lot of crit damage. So using Bellower here, I'm going to cover two different builds that you can do for him to help you farm those campaign nodes. So a campaign farmer should be focusing on the brutal campaign, as it is the most cost-effective way to farm silver and EXP for the amount of energy that you use. 12-3 is the best campaign for the best raw experience, but if you want more experience and don't mind having a little less silver, you can farm the campaign node 12-6. It isn't as cost-effective, so just make sure you're managing your energy wisely there. Alright, so for the first build that we're going to put on Bellower here, it's a standard build for earlier players, and you should be able to hit all the criteria for the best success for your farming. So, for the masteries, you want to build your masteries so he hits hard and is the first to hit and does as much damage as possible. So you will want to put Deadly Precision on him, Keen Strike, that's 2, Heart of Glory, Whirlwind of Death, Ruthless Ambush, and Cycle of Violence. So I'll say that again. Deadly Precision, Keen Strike, Heart of Glory, Whirlwind of Death, Ruthless Ambition, and Cycle of Violence. That's what you want to put for the masteries. With these masteries, you'll have a lot of crit rate and damage, more damage when he has full health, and more damage on his first hit. You'll also get more speed per kill in each round, and a chance to decrease cooldowns on his skills. So instead of, let's see what this says here. So this is a 4-turn cooldown, so that'll be lowered, of course. That's a 5-turn cooldown, so that will be low. Does have a chance to be lowered as well. So the masteries I just listed are essential for your build, as they will boost your damage and help clear the waves very easy. You can, of course, build the masteries further, but I will go into further detail here in a little bit on that. So in this build, we will build speed so we don't have to one-shot a wave, but do enough damage so our second hit will kill the rest of the wave. We're building double the mob speed so we can hit twice without being hit, therefore killing the wave quickly. So basically, hitting twice, hit them twice before they can hit you. So that way you can survive and move on to the next wave. So another thing to do to keep in mind is to sort out the jewelry that you apply to the character. And since I don't have them unlocked yet, I can't get in there and show you. I guess I could try and get in on one of my other champions though. Whoops. Let's go Sun Wukong here. Here's the jewelry. So for Bellower, for the ring, you want primary stat is attack and secondary stat is attack percent. So then for the amulet, you want primary stat to be the crit damage. For the banner, you want that to be primary stat to be attack and secondary to be speed and attack percent. Then we have the gloves. You want crit rate, primary stat to be crit rate. So for the gloves. And for the chest, you are going to want to do attack percent and secondary is speed. Oh, sorry, for the gloves you want crit rate, and then you want speed and crit damage for the gloves. For the chest, let's back to the chest plate. Primary stat is going to be attack percent, and then secondary is going to be speed and crit rate. Then the boots, you want primary stat to be speed, and secondary is crit rate. So lots of crit, lots of crit damage, lots of speed. Like I said, that's what we're going to be focusing on. So finally, we have the top row of artifacts here to worry about, and we just basically need to fill in the gaps, and we need to have the max crit rate so that Bellower never misses a crit, and if he does, that would slow down your farming. I mean, this is all about trying to be super efficient with your time and your energy and getting the most resources possible. So if you don't mind missing a crit and taking a little bit of damage, that might add, I don't know, 5 seconds to your run. If that doesn't matter to you, then go with what you want in the top row here. But this is what I'm focusing on, is the maximum efficiency here, maximum effort. So we need to, let's see here. So we need to also have double the speed of the fastest enemy mob to hit twice and kill the mob before it attacks. So like we were talking about, or like I mentioned earlier, just hit them twice before they hit you. And if you can't get that to happen, obviously that's going to slow down your clear speed, and even maybe, depending on the power difference here, you might fail every once in a while. So this is all for 100% success rate, super efficient time run as well. So the max speed on that node 12-3 that I was talking about is going to be 188 speed. So if these two attributes are sorted, then pile on as much critical damage as you can with the top artifacts, as this is your biggest source of damage that will clear the waves quicker. So that is build number 1 for Bellower. Build number 2 is going to be for mid to late game players who have the artifacts to build a stronger Bellower that doesn't require speed, just pure damage to one-shot the waves consistently and run through without double hitting. We'll still follow a similar pattern that we don't want the mobs to attack us. However, we just want to one-shot the mobs and not need a second attack. So that will make it go even faster. So for the masteries on Bellower for the second build here, we'll go back to Bellower here. Whoops. He's kind of hard to find. Let's see. Here he is. Okay. So for build number 2, the masteries, we want Deadly Precision, Keen Strike, Whirlwind of Death, Ruthless Ambush, Cycle of Violence, Blood Shield, Flawless Execution, Wrath of the Slain, and Kill Streak. That's a lot of them. I might try to put that list in a text on the screen here in the editing process, so hopefully that'll help you, but I'll read them quickly again just in case. But Deadly Precision, Keen Strike, Heart of Glory, Whirlwind of Death, Ruthless Ambush, Cycle of Violence, Blood Shield, Flawless Execution, Wrath of the Slain, and Kill Streak. Using the same ideas as before, but adding damage to this build, any extras in the other mastery trees will be a bonus to help you through the waves. So, starting with the jewelry, or not starting with the jewelry, again with the jewelry, on the ring you want primary stat to be attack, secondary to be attack percent, amulet you want crit damage, banner you want the primary to be attack, secondary attack percent, and then the super important ones are going to be the gloves, which you'll want primary stat as crit damage and secondary as crit rate. The chest you're going to want primary stat as attack percent and secondary is crit rate. And the boots you want attack percent as primary, crit rate as your secondary, and the top row of artifacts, like I said, we're going to fill in the gaps. You need to have max crit rate so you never miss a critical hit, have more speed than the fastest mob, and max out as much crit damage as you can in your build into the top 3 to ensure you can one-shot the enemy mobs. So about 225% for Bellower here. So if you follow all of this advice, you're going to be clearing waves quicker than 7 seconds and showering yourselves in gold and experience. So I hope that was helpful for you. As soon as I get Bellower, I'm definitely going to go with that build, but got some advice on that, so I thought I'd put that out there. But make sure you download with the QR code or the link below to get all those goodies that I talked about at the beginning. And until next time, spend those resources wisely. Make up a good farming character, farming champion, to get even more resources. And until next time, we'll see you around. Thanks for watching.